It's 2Sneaky, man, and we back with another sneaky video. You feel me? Back with another body cam film, man. Like always, we get straight into it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Let's get it.
Sheriff's office received a chilling 911 call.
911, what is your emergency?
911. I woke up on my boyfriend here that he was outside this morning. He was cold. He was just drinking. He's cold. I found him outside the kitchen, the bloody mess. He's not breathing.
Why is the kitchen a bloody mess?
I was about to say that. How is the kitchen a bloody mess? How is the kitchen a bloody mess if you said you woke up and your boyfriend was cold? Woke up your boyfriend cold mean he died in his sleep. He got smothered or something like that. Like, you need to tell us more information. My boy, I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hello?
I don't know. I need paramedic.
Alright, stay on the line. I'm gonna connect you to fire rescue, okay?
One, two, three, four. Suffolk County Fire Rescue. What's the cause of the emergency? And tell me what's wrong. He is non-responsive.
First responders quickly arrived at the caller's residence at 9801 White Barn Way. Upon arrival, Hillsborough officers were met by 26-year-old Melissa Turner, who was covered in blood. She told first responders the blood was from administering CPR to the victim. She immediately led them to the back of the house where her fiancé, 25-year-old Matthew Trussler, was unresponsive and cold. He was lying face up by the swimming pool with multiple stab wounds and lacerations on his body. The medical unit arrived moments later, but sadly, Matthew was pronounced dead at the scene. Melissa watched as a sheet was laid over his body. Inside the home, there was a trail of blood drops that began in an office on the ground floor. Following the trail led the detectives right to the family room and then to the kitchen. The kitchen was an absolute bloodbath, with items knocked over and scattered all around the room, including a broken glass jar, multiple kitchen knives, and a switchblade. The blood trail then led to an open back window, continued into the backyard, and ended at Matthew's body. It was safe to say that a major struggle had taken place, and after bleeding out in the kitchen...
How? I feel like the girl could beat him the whole time at this point. Fool, this girl got a knife, right? As a dude, you can get stabbed with the knife. Yeah. When you trying to take the knife from her, yeah. You sleep, then she stab you in your sleep, then yeah, okay. But y'all face to face, you with a regular girl who do not know how to use a knife at all. I finna run. I finna try to take the knife from her ass. Ho, get your ass out my way, ho. Get your ass out my way. I'm gonna try to do something. Bitch, running is not my first option with a female with a knife. Unless I know she know how to use that bitch. If she know how to use a knife, that's a different story now, nigga. That's different. She know how to use that bitch. But this, she an OF person, nigga. She don't know how to use no damn knife. Come on now. He could have stopped this over. He out here running for his damn life for what? Stop that bitch. Pick up a knife too. I pick up a knife, she pick up a knife. Somebody else finna get scared.
Matthew used every ounce of life that he had left to escape through the window into the backyard, where he later succumbed to his injuries. All of the evidence was collected, which included a smartwatch that Matthew was still wearing and a home security camera that was installed in the hallway of the house. As a thorough search of the residence and surrounding area commenced, Melissa was brought into the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office for an interview.
How long have you been?
2.5 years.
Yeah, that's a bit behind Onlyfans.
Throughout the interview, Melissa provides bits and pieces of information about her and Matthew's life. Melissa was bullied as a teenager for being
big. She still is. What are you talking about? She was bullied. This is no, I don't care what they finna say. This is no parts. This is no reason to bringing this up for. She was being bullied as a kid. We don't care. Everybody was being bullied as a kid. Somebody called you fat in school does not mean you being bullied. Call their ass something else. Boom. How the hell somebody calling me fat, I'm being bullied? Bully to me is like you getting shoved in a locker, you getting beat up every day. That's bully. Somebody using verbal word, like talking to you, cussing you out. Bitch ass nigga, you ain't getting bullied. Shut your whole ass up.
Wait. But as she transitioned into young adulthood, she began taking her health and wellness seriously and lost over 100 pounds. This newfound lifestyle gave her the confidence to begin sharing photos of her body anonymously through her Tumblr named Two Thorned Rose. She eventually realized that she could supplement her income if she could somehow monetize what she was doing. So, she became a self-proclaimed cam girl.
I am Two Thorned Rose. I'm a cam model. I'm an artist. I love fitness.
This was only meant to be temporary, but she was quickly able to quit her 2 part-time retail jobs, and the new business became a full-time gig. In order to maximize her profits, Melissa ended up finding her niche in horror-themed cosplay adult films. Melissa was good enough at her job to be making a substantial amount of money, but some of her fans believed that she would take things too far. One viewer stated that she shot some really crazy stuff, and that she was always into blood. In 2017, she met Matthew on Tinder, and the two quickly fell for each other. After 2 years of dating, they were able to buy a house where they began building their life together. As romantic as this love story was, the detectives were more interested in the hours leading up to Matthew's death.
Let me take us, or can you take us back to yesterday? From the time you guys woke up and to kind of how we got here today.
Yeah, as much as I can.
The best that you can. That's all we're asking for.
Melissa told the detective.
Good. She is good. Boy, I ain't gonna lie. She good. These is real tears, nigga. She good. She real good. I ain't gonna lie. She good.
The day before started like any other. She woke up at around 4:30 a.m. and worked until about 8 a.m. Afterwards, she and Matthew walked their dog, and then Melissa exercised in their garage while Matthew cleaned up around the house. They visited a Home Depot and then a Publix grocery store to grab lunch, which Matthew cooked at home. After sending some emails and doing some more cleaning, they ate dinner, ended the night with a few drinks, and played some card games.
That's what we would do on a night when we didn't have to get up and do anything the next morning. We had drinks. He always liked drinking. He was a drinker.
Did he have a, would you say he had a drinking problem or no?
He had a drinking problem.
Okay.
His mom will tell you the same thing. He will admit it himself.
What about you?
Me? No.
Besides
Some
the
people can
alcohol,
have a drinking problem but can control it now. Like, he probably know he have a drinking problem, but he can control it, like, to a point that he don't have to get sloppy drunk. But he still have a drinking problem. So, like, his drinking problem don't have nothing to do with this. I ain't gonna cap to you. He probably had a drinking problem, but nigga, he wasn't getting sloppy drunk. That's a drinking problem.
any drugs?
No.
We're not the drug police, so I'm just asking.
No, he would never.
What? Man, don't ever let the police tell you that, man. Don't ever let a detective, a police, a firefighter, a paramedic ever say that ever day in your life and you fall for that. Hey, I ain't the drug police. There's no such thing as no drug police. There's no such thing. Don't let them boys fool you like that. All of them is the police. All of them the drug police. Nigga said I ain't no drug police. Nigga, this ain't no damn movie. You lying.
I should do that. Because that was a deal breaker for me, and he knew that. He knew if he touched anything like that again, that he would lose me.
Okay.
The peak of Matthew's drug abuse was in 2015. He then decided to get his life back together and move in with his brother. By the time Matthew met Melissa in 2017, Matthew was still clean.
That was my number one deal breaker with him.
And I'm assuming.
So, you know, the drug police, he was not shy about it in his past when he was younger. He was into hard drugs.
Okay.
But it's been years since then because he knew that was my number one deal breaker. He touched it again, we were done. I didn't give a shit. That was it.
What time did you go to bed last night?
Again, like I said, we were having some drinks. But I remember getting really tired around 10 and I just wanted to go to bed. And 10:30-ish was when I remember, 10:30, 11 maybe, is when I remember going to curl up on the chair. Because I slept on that big chair that's in my little office area downstairs.
Apparently, Melissa slept in the next morning and woke up around 8:30 a.m.
I don't know. I normally don't sleep in. whatever time, I remember waking up and I didn't see him around, and I saw the kitchen was.
She good. She's real good. She's an actress. My boy, this is good. She's crying and everything, but only thing she's missing, like only thing we know is that this is BS. I didn't need the camera. I don't need the camera. They got a camera of her doing the junk. We don't need that because she good at crying, yeah. But we know you're lying. I knew you're lying. You got to sit down and think about it. If somebody broke up in the house and did it to him, she would have heard it. Either way, she would have heard it. So she woke up the next morning, then you saw him now. All that junk came out of the office room to the kitchen to the backyard, and you didn't hear none of that? Boom, that's my case right there. I don't need no damn recording.
I didn't see him outside at first. It was cold. I pulled him to the ground.
I know this must be very difficult for you.
It feels like a dream.
Or did you hear anything?
No.
Last night?
No.
Like in the night?
No.
What do you think happened?
I mean, you understand just from our standpoint, obviously, we weren't there last night. If you could just take your best guess of what you thought could have happened.
Hell no, don't do that.
The detectives asked Melissa if there was a chance that Matthew's death could have been an accident.
He always told me he had.
If the police ask you that dumb behind question, don't answer that question. Don't answer that question. How can his death be an accident? What's the accident? She was the accident to him, or he did it himself? Because if y'all saying he did it himself, that don't make no damn sense. And if she accidentally knocked him off, that's not no damn accident. That's not no damn accident.
Feeling he was gonna die young.
What the detectives didn't know yet was that back at the crime scene, a medical examiner had
arrived. Green. She going to jail. He never said that. He never said that in his life. Fool never said that since he been clean. I'll say, forget that. She lying like a mug.
To evaluate Matthew's body. He had a defensive wound on his right forearm, a large laceration to his chest, a small cut to the right shoulder, and a large stab wound on his back. It was clear that Matthew's death was no accident.
Do you have any injuries on your person?
No.
Any scratches or cuts or anything?
Yeah, I have a little cut right there.
You don't supposed to show them nothing. You supposed to say no. Cause look, this how they gonna tell it. That's how they gonna know. The way you was gripping the knife and you stabbed them fool, you probably cut yourself and you don't even know it. Cause it's on your hand. And that's how they finna connect that motherfucker. I know that's how they finna connect that bit. That was the wrong place to show the blood at. Is your motherfucking hand. Wrong place, fool.
I think it's from grabbing the glass. Wait.
Nah, it's from grabbing a knife.
You know where
I remember it was a hard rock glass, I believe, in the kitchen, and I think I picked up a piece of it on the floor.
Was there any fighting or arguing last night? Do you all have a history of any kind of fighting or arguing?
Nothing. I mean, couples argue sometimes. We never really fought. We would argue.
So there was no arguing last night?
We were having a great time.
The detectives decided that now would be a good time for a break so that Melissa's injuries could be photographed and bandaged. DNA and fingerprints were also collected. During this time, they touched base with the investigators who had processed the crime scene. They learned about Matthew's defensive wounds and the stab wound to his back, ruling out the theory that Matthew could have been responsible for his own death. But there was more. While investigators were canvassing the area surrounding the crime scene, they discovered that one of the neighbors had a Nest surveillance camera which could see just over Melissa and Matthew's fence into their backyard. While this camera angle wasn't ideal,
on hood, that would have had to get taken down. That getting taken down. Why is that in my backyard? Or I'm having a fence over my backyard. That fence gonna be hot as hell. I'm having me a tent over my bed. Fool, that bitch getting shot down. What the fuck is a camera over my house for? And it's not mine. I'ma need that.
the camera also recorded audio, and an intense altercation was captured between Melissa and Matthew around 4 to 4:30 a.m. that morning.
Oh nah. Oh nah. Oh nah, she on some spirit junk. You got the power. You got the power to what?
With this new piece of evidence uncovered, the second half of Melissa's interview quickly turned into a full-on interrogation.
On hood. But look though, off real fool, she could have easily hit abusing and boom, self-defense type jump. She could have did that, fool. She could have did that. Instead of, cause the lie she made up is that she didn't hit nothing, she don't know nothing. I would have not did that. You can't do that lie. That lie ain't gonna work. You got at least do a lie you can run with for at least a couple hours, a couple days. Motherfucker, at least a lie will last forever. Fool. I ain't hit nothing, not for the work unless you was on a strong behind medicine, fool. And you was sleep, heavy, deep sleep. Only way that worked. But hell nah, that ain't working, man.
Tell me about what happened around 4 o'clock this morning. Was there any arguing?
At 4 o'clock? Not that I know of.
Were you asleep at 4 o'clock this morning?
To my knowledge, yes.
8:45 is when the call came in, so you said about 20 minutes, maybe even if you lost track of time, say you wake up at 8. Any time between, but at 11 last night to 8 this morning, did you have any argument?
No, not that I know of.
So we've been talking to the neighbors. There's cameras all over the neighborhood. There's Ring doorbell cameras and everything.
Okay.
Okay. Around 4 o'clock this morning, something happened at your house. That's why we're asking.
What were the neighbors saying?
She should already have her story up together. If they ask you a question, they already know the answer. So you gotta have your lie up. So since they know you was arguing, now you gotta have your lie. They know you was arguing. You would know if the cracker's lying. This ain't no damn lie. If they name something they don't supposed to know, that mean they know it. If they don't supposed to know this information, they know it. Come on, now stay with it, man.
It's what's on video. There's arguing coming from the house. It's a male and a female.
If it was at 4 in the morning, I will tell you right now, I did not stay up until 4 in the morning.
Although she initially sticks to her guns, the detectives are persistent and her story quickly begins to change.
The argument was him waking me up because he was a night person, as I've told you guys. Him staying up till 4 in the morning whenever he got drunk is not unheard of. I would say he woke me up. We got in an argument over that. Being up at 4 in the morning, drunk off your ass, wasn't doing anybody any good. And that was what the argument was about then.
Hell no, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. The wrong lie. When you lie, you gotta lie good. That lie ain't gonna work. We heard you talking, not him. He didn't say a word in that moment. Fool, he was streaming. You was talking. You was like, get up, all that extra junk. So you gotta flip your story about you saying get up. Come on, man. If the crackers know something, that mean they know it. So that mean you gotta say what they know plus add on something. You gotta remember that, fool. You gotta say what the junk they know, cause they know that. Now you gotta add on something to throw that off. How the hell you gonna say something? You gonna say something literally what did not happen, and the audio say something different? You can't.
You do have a memory of what happened, right?
Stupid.
Yes.
At 4 o'clock.
Yes.
No, she don't.
Okay.
Melissa chalks up the argument to her simply being upset about a drunk Matthew waking her up at 4 a.m. But considering the intensity of the argument captured on the surveillance camera, and of course Matthew's gruesome death, the detectives believe something much more explosive happened that Melissa was not divulging. So they continue pressuring Melissa to tell the truth, and it's not long before she shares a darker version of her story.
Talking about it more now, thinking back on it, this is from me grabbing a knife out of his hand.
I told you. I was about to say I told you, but it's the other way around, G. It's the other way around. She had the knife in her hand. I was about to say I told you because she was about to say she picked up the junk, but she lying. She lying. She had the knife in her hand. Remember that, fool. Him grabbing a knife. If a dude grabbed a knife and come at her, she would have not grabbed that bitch with that little behind cut on her hand. Come on, now. Stay with it. She lying.
I swear he'd never hit me, never laid a hand on me, even when drunk. I will not let his name go down like that. But I do remember pissing him off when I tried to get the knife out of his hand.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, when my neck isn't from me, and my jaw's sore like I got hit. And I remember being thrown over the counter.
Matthew, 100%. Matthew ain't picking her up and throwing her over the counter. 100%. A nigga can't bet me no money for Matthew picking her up and throwing her ass over the counter. Not over the island, G. He not doing that. She like 2 Matthew like 150. She like 2 Matthew like 120. He not doing that, man. That's one lie. But this lie could work if you tweet it up a little bit. Man, this lie ain't gonna work, fool. You could have been like, alright, you took the knife from him, okay, cool. You could have said you took it from him, then you had to use it. Keep it like that. Adding extra junk ain't finna do nothing. That ain't finna do nothing.
He got pissed off, got a little more aggressive with what he was doing.
Okay, and how did you react?
I was scared at first.
Then
I'm not trying to be dumb about this. I'm a lawyer.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the interview at 14:06 hours.
dang.
As soon as Melissa asks for a lawyer, the detectives conclude the interview. As Melissa sits alone in the interrogation room, she becomes paranoid and begins to panic.
This can't be my life.
Why? Why are you in the... People know they can talk in their head, right? Like, you can really talk in your head. Like, you can pray in your head without speaking out. You can talk and say everything in your head without speaking out your mouth. Come on, nah. Talking out loud. Maybe hyperventilate. This room is big. Now, what's she doing?
What is happening?
The wall's closing in on her.
Could you at least come in here and keep me company? I feel like I'm gonna fall apart. I can see you.
I told you she was on some weird junk. I knew she was on some weird junk. She was on that spirit junk, fool. She on that spirit junk. She ain't playing. This is for real. She on that spirit ever since she did that little yeah junk. She on that junk for real, man. This is real.
Did I just get left in here now?
The bitch ain't hallucinating.
Going to freeze me out?
She see this person for real.
Can we please turn the AC off in here?
It's not even cold in there. It's hot.
Oh, God, it's so cold. Am I not allowed a blanket or anything?
Hell no.
We were going to Walmart today. We were going to get Halloween decorations. Oh!
Someone eventually comes back and they collect Melissa's clothes as evidence, and they bring her some McDonald's. Right after this, Melissa was arrested and charged with the second-degree murder of Matthew Trussler. In subsequent interviews with Matthew's family, they strongly denied the allegations made by Melissa regarding Matthew's mental health. The only negative thing they had to say was that Matthew had gradually grown distant from the family, which they believe was due to Melissa intentionally manipulating and isolating him. Thanks to Melissa's lucrative career,
I'm trying to tell you, that's what I said. Y'all let the niggas manipulate your mind. Y'all let people manipulate your mind, fool. When somebody tell you something, you gotta research it, look it up, or just don't believe it. A nigga can't, you let a nigga tell you a sob story, you let a person tell you a little story, a little backstory, tell you a little this and that. Don't let them niggas manipulate you. Nigga, what the freak? That's what niggas gonna do.
she was easily able to pay her bond. She then participated in a media interview professing her innocence and sharing her story.
We ended up struggling back and forth for the knife. I got my hand sliced open. He had pushed me into the countertop. I had marks on my stomach from it. And then
this girl
turning
is
around,
good.
he had his hands around my throat, losing
I'm
him.
trying to see how long do they give her. First of all, we already knew she about to pay her bond easily. We know what she do. That's first off. Second of all, I'm trying to know, did she walk out? How much time she get? Because she is good now. She good. That crime junk, she got it on pack. Real down on pack. I'm trying to tell you.
Losing his family that I loved as my family.
Melissa's trial began on February 14th, 2022. In their opening statement, the prosecution pointed to the fact that Melissa had dialed 911 4 hours after the incident, pretending to not know what had happened.
No, that don't mean nothing. The lawyer gonna be like she was scared. The lawyer can be like she was paranoid. She thought she about to go to jail for the rest of her life. If they find out she did it, so she had to lie and say she didn't know what happened. Fool, look, hell no. You can't do that. There's no way. There's no way. 4 hours later, her lawyer can easily be like, she was scared. She was scared. So they gonna be like, so you wasn't scared enough to call the police? Yeah, I was, but like, I would have went to jail if I would have called the police right then and there. So I was trying to think for 4 hours.
They argued that Melissa's actions and behavior before and after the incident indicated that she was a calculated killer. Additionally, the prosecutors were adamant that her inconsistent statements were attempts to deceive authorities as well as downplay her involvement. Once she realized the detectives were onto her, she fabricated a narrative of self-defense. The defense argued that Melissa did in fact act in self-defense, and that Matthew's death was a result of his own aggressive behavior. They also suggested that the neighbor's surveillance audio was manipulated to amplify Melissa's voice, making it sound louder than it actually was.
So it could be that maybe one voice on the recording was not amplified, and that another voice on the recording was greatly amplified.
This is what you call manipulating the courtroom. You manipulate and you make everybody think somebody, Bo, I'm trying to tell you, this girl did it, but I'm telling you, this is how you rebuttal everybody. Anything they said about her, her lawyer rebutted that bitch and flipped that bitch. That's what you're supposed to do. That don't mean she gonna win though, but they good. You gotta flip everything. That's what I would.
Throughout the course of the trial, all of the evidence was revealed to the jury. The crime scene photos, which showed the aftermath of a brutal attack on Matthew, the bloody knives, one of which they believed to be the murder weapon, and the surveillance footage with the audio of Melissa and Matthew's argument. On top of these items, they also presented footage to the court that was recorded by a motion-activated camera that was inside Melissa and Matthew's home. At 3:39 a.m., Melissa is seen running towards the office. At 3:42 a.m., Matthew walks past the camera towards the kitchen with Melissa right behind him, a disgusted look on her face. At 4:09 a.m., she is captured stopping near the front door and talking to herself. The prosecutors pointed out a
talking to herself. I'm telling you, she's not talking to herself. Don't let her fool you, fool. He supposed to. I don't know how the hell you been with her and she do this. I would have been beating her ass, or I would have been leaving her ass. That's the only thing I'm doing with her, fool. Fool. A girl do some junk like this, start talking to the dope. She ain't talking to herself, fool. She talking to somebody. Somebody made her do that to him. I'm telling you, fool. This ain't no. I'm telling you, this is real. This is a real thing. She lives in Hollywood.
Of red on her right hand, possibly blood. The defense fought against this, saying that the footage was not clear enough to draw any conclusions on the state of her hand. She turns around and heads back into the kitchen. The final clip is 4 hours later. At 8:35 a.m., Melissa can be seen wandering around the house with what appears to be a bad case of bedhead. And remember the smartwatch retrieved from Matthew's wrist back at the crime scene. Investigators analyzed the data from that watch, and it revealed that his heart stopped at 4:31 a.m., further solidifying the timeline of the crime. When it was the defense's turn to call witnesses, they made the bold decision to call Melissa herself to the stand.
There were times where he would push me and punch the walls beside my head. He would stare off at some corners, and he would tell me that there's a demon standing right there.
That is her! That is her right there! Fool, she just said the stuff she did. The stuff she do, she just put everything on him. She is good, fool. She real good. She premeditated good. This is first degree. Fool, this girl is good, fool. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't lie to you. She real good. Real good. She don't know how to lie good, but fool, she know how to cry, manipulate. Everything she do talking to people. Seeing demons next to me when that's her. She do that. She just flip that junk on him to make him look bad. Oh my God, she good. She a devil, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. She a real devil out here.
There were times where he would talk in a different voice.
Did that frighten you?
God, yes. I was terrified.
She tearfully recounted her version of events. According to Melissa, Matthew became violent during an argument. He choked her, threw her across a counter, and proceeded to grab a knife. Apparently, a head injury along with alcohol caused Melissa to black out at one point. But she still remembers when Matthew put down the knife to start strangling her again. In self-defense, she grabbed the knife off the counter and stabbed him in the back. Nearing the end of her testimony, her defense thought it was crucial to address the elephant in the room. Melissa lying to the detectives and changing her story during her interrogation.
Yeah, that is, but again, the lawyer can be like, she was scared. That is true. She was lying and did flipped it, yeah. That's why I said she should have played the self-defense card from the get-go. She good, nah. She just ain't good enough. Cause she's a real good one. I'm talking about a sneaky one. A too good one. That hoe is good. She would have played the self-defense card from the get-go. That little, I don't know what happened, I didn't hit nothing, she would have not did that. A person who real deal good at that bit would have not did that. But that whole is still good though.
In your first interview, you didn't go into these details with the detective. Why is that?
I was confused. I was uncomfortable. My head was pounding. I had told them so many times about my head, and I told them that I couldn't think straight because of it.
During cross-examination, the prosecution bombarded Melissa with questions about her drastically inconsistent statements.
Today, in 2022, you now claim you had some kind of head injury, correct?
Yes.
And now, in 2022, you speak of some kind of blackout, correct? Yes?
Correct.
Okay.
She was also questioned about the things she was heard saying on the surveillance camera footage.
You said 4:33 a.m., so effing die, right?
No. I
would have said, well, I would have said no because I didn't hear the footage either. I would have said no because I did black out, so I don't know what did I say. I would have said no too. But look though, because I would have had to say that. But look though, if she did say that, what that mean? She pulled the self-defense card. That mean when she blacked out, she was saying die, like yeah. That makes sense. I don't know, nah. She good though. Always good. I don't want to see how much
collection of that. I explained my side and why I did what I did.
Look,
You're
Batman
crying right now. Is that what's happening? Are you crying right now?
Do you know what tears look like?
Are you crying because you can just cry on cue?
I'm crying because
She crying because she can cry on cue. She's good like that. I'm telling you, that hoe is good.
my life is on the line right now. I'm crying because I still remember all those
You gotta
places,
play
all
the
those
defense
places.
card. You gotta play a defense card. My life on the line right now, and you keep accusing me of murder. My life on the line right now, and you not believing me. She supposed to be playing though. She supposed to been playing the defense card, boy. I would have been playing the defense card at a mother. I'm a victim.
The defense also called the medical examiner to the stand. They stated that in their report, Matthew's blood alcohol level was so high at the time of his death that it was nearly 5 times the legal limit to drive in Florida. Although he wasn't driving anywhere, they suggested that this high level of intoxication, along with his mental health issues, caused Matthew to become erratic, unpredictable, and potentially dangerous. On February 18th, 2022, after 5 days of testimony, Melissa Turner's murder trial wrapped up.
Your duty is to determine if the defendant has been proven guilty or not in accord with the law.
The jury deliberated, and after 7 hours, they reached a unanimous verdict.
Publish the verdict and poll the jurors, please.
We, the jury, find as follows as to the charge. The defendant is guilty of murder in the second degree.
Melissa Turner was found guilty of second-degree murder using a weapon. Her sentencing hearing was on March 18th, 2022. Before a sentence was given, Matthew's mother provided a touching impact statement to the court.
Believe it or not, I don't believe that your greatest crime is having murdered Matthew. But actually, it's what you've done to his memory in the aftermath of his death in order to preserve your own life.
Really?
The story that you have contrived has caused me as much pain as his death. If Matthew's drinking was escalating and he was depressed, it was because of the lifestyle that you involved him in. It was not consistent with who he was and with the way that he was raised. If anyone was a victim of domestic violence, abuse, and manipulation, sadly, it was Matthew.
Melissa's mother
And sadly, you didn't teach him how to not get manipulated by a female like that. Nigga, Matthew supposed to been in jail every single day for battery, or he supposed to left that hoe. Man, this hoe beating you like that. She bow wowed you for 2 years straight. 2 years straight. You was getting bow wowed.
The court. She defended her daughter, stating that Melissa was a good person who always tried to avoid conflict.
This jury did not believe her claims of self-defense, nor does this court.
Melissa Turner was sentenced to 20.5 years in prison. Following her sentencing, Melissa spoke to the court one last time. She tearfully expressed how much she loved Matthew.
I don't want to hear that. I ain't gonna catch you. She good, but fool, you good. I'm trying to tell you, you would have been good like in a small town somewhere. But that BS Ain't for the fly at what, fool? People gonna see through that, fool. She was good, nah. But look, you supposed to been in this bit weak leg. You can't talk. I can barely speak. You crying every time you in the courtroom. That's how you supposed to be. I ain't gonna lie to you. Fool, you cry only on cue, like the lady said. And you didn't even get that. You cried literally when, like, somebody say something, then like, yeah, that's my cue to cry. No, chill out. But you was good at crying, though. And, like, seeing stuff, what you did and putting on him, you was good. That was good, but just wasn't good enough. Just wasn't good enough. Sorry to tell you that. But yeah, man, it's 2Sneaky, man. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the video, like always, man. And we streaming on YouTube at 9, so I might go stream back on Twitch. I'm gonna learn how to connect them bitches though, before I can stream on both of them. But yeah, man, make sure y'all boys get at me, man. At Mr. 2Sneaky and at 2Sneaky on all platforms. Let's get it, let's go, and we out with it, fool.